Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great holiday so far. I'm trying my best to, especially with the finals. I know some of you understand where I'm coming from. Today we're going to be talking about the fact, should lawyers, judges, and teachers be encouraged to carry guns for self-protection? Why or why not? This has been a topic that has been a huge source of debate for a while now. Some people say yes, some people say no. The problem is, which one's the correct answer? The way I look at it, I try to look at it from both sides. Now, while a part of me would like to say yes, I think it would be safer for them to turn around and carry a gun, at the same time that also provides a lot of possible problems in the long run. For example, think of it this way. If it's a school and say by chance the teacher happens to not think about it or sets it down. If it's at an elementary school, what do you think is going to happen when the curious kids see something like that? They're going to want to try and play with it because they're going to more than likely think it's a toy, not realizing it. In middle school, it's going to be more of a. It's still going to be a form of curiosity, but at the same time, because the fact that they're kind of going through the puberty stage and maturing, they can view it as more of, well, if I try and pick it up, then that makes me bigger, better, or tougher than you. Or I bet you can't do it, which would lead to possible problems. Or they're trying to understand who they are, which could also lead to complications. In high school, it wouldn't be that hard for some students to try and overpower the teachers. So, by having the teachers carry a gun, in reality, all you're doing is giving the students quicker access to a weapon at that point. Also, for judges and lawyers, think of it this way. If they are let's say, a defense attorney representing a criminal, and the criminal's sitting next to them in court, like a murder or something, and they see the witnesses there, what do you think the odds are that the criminal is not going to try to go for the gun to try and shoot the witnesses or shoot other people? Or if it's a person that's really nervous or desperate, they might try to go for it as a means to try to get out or get away from it. As for a judge, the judge is sitting up there. There's already police officers or bailiffs nearby with guns. Does the judge really need a gun at that point? Now, maybe after he's off the case and out of the courtroom carrying it, hey, maybe that's another story. But in the courtroom, realistically, the odds that a judge would really need a gun with the armed people that's normally there, I really don't think a judge would need one at that point in the courtroom. Yes, I can understand if it was like a high-profile criminal, like a mass murderer, serial killer, or something like that. I can understand him him or her wanting one out of concern for their safety. But at the same time, I feel that could be a bad situation. Because think about it. What if it was one of their family members that had been hurt? Then the judge might try and decide to use the gun at that point to kill the person. Same for the lawyers. If it's a defense lawyer that knows that their client did it and it was really horrible and heinous act, they might try and use the gun to kill the client instead. Same for prosecution. Or someone from the crowd of onlookers or people that are attending it might try to go for the gun at that point to use it to try to kill the person, which could cause collateral damage and other people get hurt in the process. While it is something that we think of as an effective deterrent, at the same time, it's also a huge liability or problem at the same time. The problem is you gotta weigh the pros and cons. Now, one possible alternative is if they are carrying a gun, less lethal ammunition, aka rubber rounds or something like that. They're less likely to kill somebody and more than likely to stun them or deter them. Equivalent, the best way to put it is, think of it like getting hit by a baseball thrown by a major league pitcher. You're basically getting hit by a hard rubber ball that's flying at a fast speed. Now, that would be kind of acceptable for like a jail, courtroom, something like that, maybe a high school. Now, do we really need a gun for like an elementary school or a middle school? I really would hope that we would have to resort to something like that. Granted that there have been shootings at elementary schools and middle schools. And we really hope we don't have to come to that point where we'd have to to using something like that as a deterrent. But sadly, in today's society, it's getting to the point where you never know what's going to happen. And I mean, at this point, it's more of a matter of opinion. Like I said, I'm not for or against. I see pluses and I see minuses. The problem is that they both kind of counteract each other. So there's not really more pluses or more minuses. They kind of balance each other out, but at the same time, it doesn't help anything because it's stuck at a standstill point at this particular moment. I know right now they're trying to pass it, but after talking to some police officers, let's put it this way: when I went to get my concealed carry handgun permit, I had to sit through a class, probably for maybe a couple of hours. It was like 4 or 5 or something. I'm not really sure. I then went to a shooting range, shot at a target for accuracy. I then had to turn and provide the target as well as the paperwork and everything from the instructor to the sheriff's department. They ran a background check on me, and several weeks later, I was cleared and I received it. Flimsy piece of paper, easy to break. As much money as you pay to get the thing you think would be plastic, right? But beside that point, the training class for police officers to handle weapons, handle situations like possible school shootings, anything like that, they go through months of rigorous training. I say, my concealed carry. I turned around and just did it in a few hours and wasn't even taught on situations like that. Under the assumption I would have to deal with that. Teachers, lawyers, stuff like that. After talking to the police officers, they already said for the teachers' training, it's going to be maybe 24 hours worth of it. So you're basically trying to cram everything into a person's head in less than a day. The amount that police officers have to learn over 8 months. Well, some for 6 months, but they have to learn over a period of several months. Now, no offense, but to me, that doesn't sound like the most brightest of ideas to basically give teachers a crash course on how to deal with situations and how to carry a gun in a school in less than a day. That's like turning around and picking a person up off the street, handing them a How to Do Brain Surgeries for Dummies book, tell them best of luck, and that they had to try and perform several major brain surgeries on very high profile people. Not the most brightest of ideas, folks. It's kind of like that commercial where the doctor walks in. Are you nervous about this surgery? Well, yes, sir, I am. Me too. But we'll see what happens. It'll be okay. You really don't want to hear something like that. Well, I hope that you found this video to be enlightening and hopefully a little bit entertaining. And I look forward to hearing your comments. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday, Merry Christmas, and all the rest of those. See you.